I'm missing my uh, glove box liner, and many of you guys are over places like Wolfsburg West and stuff like that, and you're finding out that these glove box liners are like $50, and you know, like a cheap plastic thing's like $29 or something like that. I'm going to show you how to make one of these. I've made a couple of them, but I'm going to tell you it is a tight tolerance. It's Volkswagen, so you got to make it fit just right. If you make the thing too wide, it's going to hit these two brackets, so it's a little bit tricky to do, but I'm going to kind of walk you through. I've done it before. Hopefully this one works again, and we're able to make this thing work out. The first thing you do is you measure the width, and that seems to me like, I think it's 13.5 inches. Let's just make sure it's right. From this bracket to that one is 13. Well, you can go to 13 3/4 and maybe have to trim it. So right around there is for this car. Every car might be a little bit different, who knows. And then what you need to do is figure out how deep to make it. And this is where I made mine last time. So I kind of formed that thing like that. Actually, you could take this, bend it down straight, and measure from here. See if I can do this with one hand. From here, and then remember, you got your screw. Measure, lay this thing down flat, and you got your screw, which is probably another 1/2 inch. So you go from where it tucks in, so that would be about 15 inches. Okay, so you need to cut a piece 13 3/4 by 15 inches. Let's take a look. So last time I used this black material here. This is for making door panels. I have some scrap stuff left over from making stuff for buses, and they sell it at this upholstery supply place. It's very cheap. I'm going to actually show you guys another way to make these out of using paper pulp and screen. I'll show you that in the next video when I get a chance to do that, because I have one that's really I want to have an original one for the other car. This is the one that I have that came out of the 59 or for the 61, and it's pretty bad. So I'm actually going to fix that piece of garbage, believe it or not. So you measure out your area, and then go ahead and cut your materials. So that's roughly my area there, and there's a couple of different ways you can cut it. You can use a jigsaw, you can use scissors, really good scissors, or you can use a razor blade, which is usually the hardest way, but it does work. On something this small, you can probably do that pretty easily. Well, I don't know where my shears are, so I just used some tin snips. That works too. So the next thing is you want to get this thing wet. Sorry about that, guys. Had you guys running, supposed to have it shut off, but then I get my tool out so that I can tell you just how quickly you can make one of these things. You take your tool here, one of these clamps. You can use a C clamp, whatever, and then what you're going to do is let this set overnight. Okay, and then you're going to fit it in the car, make sure it's the right width. Okay, and put the tool on it, make sure it's the right shape, And then all you do is you take this over to your material and you trace the shape that you've got here. Make 2 of those, put them in place, use some clear silicone or black silicone, and then clamp them on each end and leave that overnight, and then you're done. Put it in the car. The last one I did worked fine, and it cost me, I don't know, because I already had this material, it didn't cost me really anything. There's also another way to make them for about a couple dollars with some screen. If you have some window screen, you make the whole shape out of window screen, just similar to the way I did. If you use the aluminum screen, it kind of bends and stays in place, and you make the whole shape, and then you take stainless steel wire and you wire the ends on, and you make the whole shape just like it was originally. Then use your blender and some water and go into your shredder and grab a handful of paper, a bunch of handfuls of paper, and put it in the blender. Put the water and blend it. Then you'll have something called paper pulp, and then all you do is you just paint the outside of it with paper pulp, and that's all you got to do. Just paint all the screen about 5 or 6 times, and then go ahead and take that. When you get done, I usually use Elmer's glue at the very end and paint it with Elmer's glue, and then let it set for a couple days and pull your screen back out. There you go. That's original looking glove box. I don't know why they charge them $50 for this stuff when it doesn't take much to make one. Alright guys, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Be sure to like, share, and